Ladies and gentlemen,
it's time to embrace a youthful mindset and envision your future. Take the lead is in your world.
Take the lead is in your world.
This platform serves as a space for engagement designed to equip young people to become effective leaders. They are actively contributing, creatively engaged, and determined in various fields. And now, this is Take the Lead.
It is always a blessed moment to find yourself listening or watching the youthful program on West Africa, Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal. Hello to you out there, and thank you for being committed to this wonderful youth exchange program. My name is Augustine Cully, and this is the 25th episode of this wonderful and exciting, intriguing, youthful discussion here on your regional broadcaster. Please stay tuned with us on 94.9 FM. We are also broadcasting online at WADR.org. Through our social medias, you can find us on Facebook, WADR English Service, on YouTube. You catch up as WADR News. And remember, we often read out your comments so that you, the listening public, or the viewers can also form a part of this wonderful discussion. Being plunged for decades by political tension, structural violence, and armed conflict in the West African coastal region, we decided to talk about the effects of youth violence on society. Narrating this in the context of West Africa, with many of you being aware of ongoing conflicts in the region and how these conflicts are being perpetrated, who are mostly involved and how they are involved, with the young people being at the center stage of what we should be discussing today. So, young people are believed to be at the center stage of these conflicts and continue to undermine society through these conflict-related initiatives. In some cases, though, young people could be forced to engage into acts of violence that could be ranging from them being deprived of generational control of their country's resources, maybe such as the economics in terms of employment and other opportunities for them to contribute to their society, whether through the community, local organizations, or wherever they may find themselves. This edition seeks to establish what could really be the factors responsible for these young people engaging into acts of violence, how they engage into those acts of violence, who really engaged them to encourage them into these such acts, and then what can be the solutions in terms of getting them focusing on something else, in terms of them benefiting their country from another angle instead of protesting against what they feel they are deprived of or the opportunity that they are being deprived of. So please stay with us and let's have a wonderful time.
Take the Lead is back in 2025 with a brand new format. Yes, your youth exchange space will now be broadcast live every Friday at 4:05 p.m. Universal Time. And that's not all. Dear internet users and WADR subscribers, you have the opportunity to experience the show live and direct on our online platforms on Facebook at WADR English Service and on YouTube at WADR. Take the Lead every Friday from 4:05 p.m. Universal Time and rebroadcast same day at 1 a.m. Universal Time. Also, every Tuesday, your youth program will be rebroadcast at 7:15 a.m. and 4:05 p.m. GMT. Take the lead and champion the discourse for the betterment of young people.
So it's a charge for you to keep following us every time to get inspired by the young people who express themselves on the platform. So, joining us today as our guests are indeed another batch of young, interesting, and inspiring young people. Raymond Pierre Batoub is one of them. He is a student at the Sheikh Anta Diop University here in Dakar, Senegal. Also joining us as a guest is Marina Topul, a social worker and a sickle cell advocate in the Gambia. We also have Gallo Balde, a student at the Sheikh Anta Diop University here in Dakar. These are young people who have experienced acts of violence perpetrated by their peers and are always willing to proffer their little ideas on how to mitigate these acts of violence and also charge requisite authorities to ensuring that the young people demands are met and that they are being well processed into being the adequate and qualified replacement of the older generation. So that's just what we have for you. Let's now get into the focus of this discussion, beginning with hearing from our respective guests. How do they feel being on the show today? And I will start with Raymond from my right hand to know how are you doing. Raymond, it's a pleasure to have you in our main studios today and as a guest on this wonderful platform. Tell us, how do you feel being here today?
Oh, well, first of all, I have to say thank you for giving me the speech. I'm so overjoyed to be here today in this platform. Yeah, it's a pleasure and an honor and a privilege, of course, for me to be here today. Yeah, I am going to greet you and say your thank you for everything, for your effort, to the fact that you took your time to invite us here into this platform. By the way, I am saying, of course, thank you to Mr. Alex Sambu, because he did a lot.
Yeah, he's one of us here.
Yeah, I can't start speaking without saying thank you to both of you. Yeah, by the way, I am saluting all Senegalese people here. Yeah, I am saluting, of course, specifically American people. I'm saluting the United Kingdom of Great Britain and the Northern Ireland. I'm saluting the diaspora. I'm saying hi to my
in general,
lovely
the world.
Yeah, the world.
It's a pleasure
Definitely.
to have you. Thank you. So let's hear from Gallo. Gallo, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you for giving me one again the flow, man. I'm so delighted to be here today talking with you and sharing point of views about youth violence in this society. So I'm so delighted. I'm so delighted to be here today, and I'm greeting you once again to say you also thank you that you did all your energy to invite us to here today, and also I'm thanking also Mr. Alex Sambu, who did also all his energy to invite to put in link with us, to link with us all the things that he can do. So I'm so grateful today to be here in front of everybody, I can say, because we are followed by the world, not only in Africa or in Senegal, but by the world.
Okay.
So I'm so grateful today to be here in the big radio, this platform.
It's a pleasure.
Okay.
Let's hear from Marina from the Gambia. Marina, how are you doing, and welcome?
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just saying hello. I am good, thank God. I want to say thank you so much. It's an honor to be on here to have this conversation, because it matters a lot, and today's topic hits home. So yes, just saying hello. Yeah.
So how is the Gambia today?
The Gambia is quite hot, very hot, I must say. Today is Friday, and the weather has been hot, really. Yeah, for the past weeks now, we've been experiencing hot weather, but then we're also thankful. Yes.
That's great. That's great. I will begin with Raymond. You are attending a university, an institution where you find mostly young people, and you must have seen a lot in terms of young people trying to engage into activities, maybe against the faculty, against the institution as a whole, things that they may be disenchanted about. But when you look at the word violence and young people being engaged with acts of violence, how would you firstly describe violence, and then connecting it with young people being engaged with such acts?
All right. Thank you for your question. And I am going to answer this one with appetite, even though it's not the matter of the food, of course. All right. So first of all, I have to underline one point which is so important for me. When we talk about the violence, we should notice and know, of course, that there are a lot of types of violence, okay, in this world. For example, I can list some of them. We have verbal abuse, we have physical.
You can just let me just help you a bit. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, like I said, we have many type of violence, right? Like verbal abuse, we have physical violence, we have domestic violence, we have sexual violence, and political violence. Yeah. And then all those things, we are facing them here, right? In this world, in Senegal here. Yeah, each and single day, we face those kind of violence. And today, I am going to talk about those things. And I'm going to make sure to develop each single point that I have listed already here in order to make things so clear. Yeah.
Okay, great. You talk about types of violence. We will get to that. Yeah. Let's hear from Gallo sharing his own personal understanding about violence and young people's engagement into acts of violence.
Okay, thank you once again. So as Raymond said, that we have many type of violence. So, and he listed 5 of them. So I think that we are going to discuss with them because we can discuss all of this type of violence, but we choose just 5, I think. So I think also it is important to list all of them. And what makes me so delighted to discuss with this is that the last one, which is the political violence. The political violence, I can say, we face it every single election, and it is continued. We don't know how, and we until now we can have the solution about that, because every day, every single election, people are dying, people are killing each other. So that's why I prefer the last one most. I don't prefer the last one because it is the most important, but I think that it is the most frequent violence in Africa. Yeah, if you take for example for Senegal, this 3 or 2 past year, we face many elected, many violence in about the election or about the presidential. That's why I prefer the last one most of the 4th less.
Okay, great. But let's transition to how these acts of violence are perpetrated by quote unquote young people, because it is believed that young people are mostly at the forefront of these acts of violence. But hearing from Marina, we would like to know, from our understanding, especially there in the Gambia, what has she understood as the origin of these violence? How do they come about, Marina, from the Gambia there so far that you've understood? And what do you think could be the reasons for these young people to engage into acts of violence? Marina, are you getting us?
I'm on. Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, I was still muted. I think one of the reasons, because sometimes we look at people, their actions, and we do not tend to find out the reason why they're behaving the way they are doing. Because as a social worker, in social work, we tend to find out why do people behave the way they do. And in order to find this out, you need to do, a thorough investigation, kind of like asking questions and all of those things. And most of these root causes, sometimes it has to do with broken homes, it has to do with poverty, it has to do with unemployment, peer pressure, it has to do with drug abuse, substance abuse. So all of these things are part of the causes, of young people, especially now. It's so like the crime rate is so on the high, and you're getting that most of them that are involved in these crimes is young people. It's like now they are not even afraid to even like get hurt in the process. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know, me, I don't know if you guys pick all up, but yeah. I wonder these things, where did they tie their like heart or something? Because they do wild things and not even thinking about, they don't care about the consequences. That is where we are right now. And some of them is because of trauma, so many things. It has underlying issues. So these are some of the reasons why young people, and then also another thing is, what they watch on TV, especially when it comes to young people. We are very explosive. We want to explore. We want to test. We want to, we are very inquisitive. We are curious. We want to do the things that we see online, and so these things too are causes. Yes, I don't know if that answers the question.
Great. Indeed, that's wonderful to hear from you. But Rema, you earlier spoke about types of violence. We would like you to now treat us through the types of violence that you are aware of. And just for a few minutes, maybe you speak about one or two. Let's know how they also impact society.
All right. For example, about the verbal abuse that I have listed here, we can notice here in the society, a lot of people, they used to do this kind of violence. I mean, the verbal one. For example, by insulting, by misbehaving, by behaving badly with the bad manner. They don't even think about this one is, my elder, I should treat him with respect and consideration or something like that. They just behave like they want. And by doing that, this thing can bring, for example, nonsenses like fighting or each other, or for example, even killing each other. Because every single thing, when it starts with the bad ways, it can finish into the negative one that maybe you are not even expecting that at the end.
Is it a common thing at the university you attend, the Sheikh Anta Diop University, where these verbal, attacks take place, and maybe sometimes it's about debate and they're debating, but then the debate gets intense, and then maybe colleagues or comrades start to use invectives or some harsh words, we'll say?
Yeah, of course. Even inside the society, it might happen. And even at the university, sometimes once you are, sharing ideas with some people, some of them, they can't even understand that, okay, the fact that having a debate, for example, is the fact that being able to accept that I am not going to be, I am not going to be agree with this, proposal or not, something like that. The fact that not getting in the same, point does not mean that you people are enemies. But some of them, they think that, okay, if, for example, you say this and I say something different with that, so it means that we have maybe to have something which is like,
it's not
fighting
or
common, something like that. You see the point? So that was the case.
Okay.
And I have
aside from the verbal aspect, do you have another acts of violence that you know about?
Yeah, of course. About the physical one. And I am going to list maybe some causes, because like I heard before with, Marina, she's been saying that it's because of the poverty, reason why some of them, they act like that. But the problem is that I think that those people who used to, to bring excuses, there are some of them that, they do not want to do something and they do not want to face the reality. Reason why they prefer to bring some excuses in order to say, no, it's because of the poverty. Because no one is poor here in this world. Because the poverty is the fact, the fact of having the mindset. If you have the good mindset, I am sure that you're not going to think about that you are poor, because no one is born with the money, but we work in order to get it. And then if the person says that, no, I'm poor, I am going to kill people in order to get money, I am going to rob to get money, I am going to steal money in order to get it, it seems like you are not sane inside your brain. Because if everything is okay, you wouldn't have done that, but you are going to work in order to get something, of course. So it's not, the excuse, of course.
Okay, we will get back to you. You have a lot to say, but I'm interested in the political violence that Gallo spoke about, which he's praying that such acts should be addressed, because he believes maybe the young people are really involved into that. But explain a bit about why you are concerned about political violence and how you think young people are engaged into such act.
Thank you. Okay. So why I prefer this one is that this generation will be the future generation, and the future generation will be. There are some presidents inside there. There are some ministers. There are some teachers. There are some doctors, and there are many type of professional works inside this society. So if we behave like that today, and tomorrow it will continue. It will continue in the future. So, for example, in Senegal, last year, we all saw that it was a struggle between the political parties, and even this year in 2024.
This year, 2025, or last year, 2024?
Last year, 2025. You see, many people have been killed by the political
violence.
Political violence. Because being in different political parties doesn't mean that we are enemies.
Okay.
You see that? Because people, when you are in the political party B and I'm in the political party C, or in A, even we are brothers or sisters, we are going to fight. Because why we are going to fight? Because it's when I say my point of view and you say your point of view, and if you don't agree with me, you are going to say me that no, your political party is I can say there are some gangsters inside there. And when I react about that, we will fight. And if we fight, we will kill each other. That's what happened last year.
So how do you think, with regards to what you're talking about in Senegal, these political violence, how the young people were involved? Was it really the young people involved in it than the older people?
So I can say they all did not know what is politics. What is politics? Because politics is, I can say, is a short period. Is a short period. If you think in the election, I can say only the election, only the vote can judge us. Only the vote can judge us. Why we can wait until the election day and we vote and we go. We renewed our effort, our talent to in order make the country in a good way and making the country good country, and to see how we can imagine, how we can unite our brain, our think to make the country richer than the past year.
Okay.
Because let me tell you something. Young people, they always think that acting like American or acting like gangster is a good behavior, because let me tell you, at home, when you are well educated, you are not going to protest all the day and to fight against your peace.
Okay.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
Very well.
That's why
Equal you other means to address your concerns.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. But let's hear from Marina. I can remember a few weeks back there were some young people who were arrested, only because they got on the street. They were demanding accountability for quote unquote, expenditures, disclosure of expenditures into how the former president Yahya Jammeh's assets, were sold, and what were the outcome of the funds generated from such sales, including other acts of violence that may have occurred in the Gambia, and the young people who have been at the forefront of them. But what would you say about these acts? Like your colleagues here have said much about Senegal. What would you say about the young people's involvement into acts of violence in the Gambia? Marina, are you getting us? Okay. Well, I think we will get her later.
Yes. Sorry, I keep unmuting. Yeah, I was speaking, but it was on mute. Are you hearing me?
Yes, you are live.
Okay. All right. So I was saying that demonstration, I believe for us, the young people now, because Gambia is a democratic republic now, we have that right to, assemble peacefully. But then also I understand what my colleague is saying, because sometimes, especially when young people are, involved, they tend to say that we can go too extra sometimes. We can allow our emotions to just cause us to overdo certain things, But if it's a peaceful protest, I'm not into protesting to go and fight or to go. If you're just demanding for information from the government, I think that is our right to do that. But then where the problem lies is because again, for me, most of the things that I say is all these protests, all this peaceful protest. But then we need to also understand that not everybody that is going to do this protest is on the same page. Everybody has an agenda. Some are going to really do the peaceful protest and, to achieve something good. Others, they have a different mindset. Let's say, especially if all the youth say, okay, we are going to gather and go to the president's office, we demand until he comes and we will not leave. You get now. This now will involve, we are saying all the young people, this will involve the ones that are employed, the ones that are not employed, the ones that are educated, the ones that are not educated. It will involve a variety of young people. And it's also going to involve a variety of young people that think differently. So let's say if there is a Modo or a John sitting somewhere that has been so angry with the government lately, and they are not working and everything, and they see this opportunity, obviously they will now want to take leverage on this opportunity and say, okay, I'm going to join the peaceful protest. But for them, in their mind, they have already gang up, they have already pack up certain things, you get to, because they are already planning that it will not end peacefully. So that's where the problem lies. Everybody's coming with different motives, and that's where sometimes a peaceful protest can now turn to a violent scenario. But then also, like in the Gambia, I believe again it's the violence. Sorry, can I get again the question?
Yeah, I'm concerned. Yeah, what do you think could be maybe the causes, and how young people are really involved into those acts of violence? I mean, acts of violence that really disturb the peace of the country.
The peace of the country. So sometimes, let's say, like now we have a lot of theft, like robbery. going on. And now they're not, before we say Gambia is a peaceful country, which I still want to believe that it's a peaceful country. But I feel like now a lot of people are afraid that even in our own homes, we are not safe again, because people can come and knock, tend to be someone else. And even now when they are coming to steal, they don't even want to go without harming you. They come with knives, they come with a lot of stuff. Before, when they come to steal, they just steal and go. If they even see somebody, they will run. But now they are standing, they are ready to fight you no matter what. Some, they will even prefer to kill you. And that's the part that I do not understand. I feel like there are people that are unhealed. There are people that are sick. There are people that are not heard. And because of all of these things, it's causing them to react. Okay. Sometimes, like I said at the beginning, sometimes we just see the action, but we are not trying to understand why are they acting this way. I know my colleague over there will be like, sometimes I think all these reasons will be an excuse, but no human being, no normal human being would react, in violence without there being an underlying issue, without being that they are struggling with something, without being, maybe some they are not heard. Okay. And others too, it could be that they have poor parenting. Okay. That too is it's a cause.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers, yes.
Well, that's wonderful. So far, we have listened to our guests explaining their personal understanding about youthful violence in the sub-region and by extension, Africa. Let's now take a few minutes and listen to WADR's Sankule Janko as he provides pieces of information about youth violence, specifically in West Africa.
Comrades, don't move! Don't move, comrades, don't move!
Young people are not just important, they are everything. Unfortunately, political actors and extremist groups often understand young people better than the state does. They exploit this knowledge to take advantage of their vulnerabilities by weaponizing their grievances and engaging in populist tactics to gain public goodwill and support. A prime example of this is the magnitude of the 2020 NSARS protests in Nigeria and the role of social media during these protests. This movement highlighted the need to reassess youth participation in politics. The NSARS movement represented a new approach for this participation, marked by engagement in protests and social media, which sometimes led to acts of violence.
They attack it because you must not express yourself. But we don't dare here today say, we are free people. This is 2020. May I not come NSARS because at the event say they add police reform. Which cause any police from today will beat Nigerian youth for streets, we go beat them. We don't need government. We don't need government to help us do that one. No. We don't need government. See, not the only SARS, they harass people. Government thugs, as they come here yesterday, that's why they harass every bus driver every day. But they collect their money.
The Institute for Economics and Peace, in its Global Terrorism Index 2022 report, identified the Sahel as home to the world's fastest growing and deadliest terrorist groups. Several factors contribute to the vulnerability of young people to radicalization and recruitment by political actors and extremist groups. High level of youth unemployment, poverty, and limited access to education and economic opportunities can create a sense of helplessness and frustration. Political actors and extremist groups may exploit these issues by offering financial incentives, job opportunities, or social services to attract vulnerable youth. As a result, are disproportionately affected by violence. However, they also play a critical role in preventing and countering violent extremism that can lead to terrorism. The involvement of youth in conflicts as seen in Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire illustrates the need for young people to find their place in society, to be recognized, valued, and to feel that they are contributing meaningfully. Therefore, it is essential for governments, non-state actors, and organizations in West Africa to prioritize the awareness and empowerment of young people
Nonsense. So when we finish, we don't do anything. We don't go anywhere. Until we change Nigeria. Now here we go. God bless Nigerian people.
Thanks to Sankule Janko for that insight.
Hey people, my name is Mello, Afrobeat singer from Guinea and Conakry. I love listening to the program Take the Lead on West Africa Democracy Radio.
Hello, my name is Fatou Bintou Rassoukane. I'm the CEO of African Start Shop and I love listening to the Youyth program Take the Lead on West Africa Democracy Radio.
Great. Welcome back to Take the Lead on your extraordinary youth platform. To take the lead right here on West Africa Democracy Radio. We are streaming live on YouTube at WADR and on Facebook, WADR English Service, worldwide at WADR.org. Let's quickly recognize our partner radio stations across the West African sub-region that often rebroadcast this program, beginning in Nigeria, where we have Darlin FM. We also have Nensit FM in Kaduna State and Love FM in Abuja. In Liberia, we have Alternative Youth Radio in Lofa County. We have DCN Radio in Rivers County, the southeastern region of the country. Kwatika Radio in Bone County, the central region. And in Sierra Leone, we have African Young Voices in Freetown. We have Radio Baf in Mal. We have Hands of Hope in Freetown, as well as Eastern Radio in Kono District. Well, traveling to Ghana now, we have Radio Path in the Savannah region and Royals FM so far from Ghana. In the Gambia, we have Numi FM as well as Radio Veritas. Those are our partner radio stations that often rebroadcast this youthful program. So once you are there at any moment, any time, just know that you will have, a repeat broadcast of this wonderful youthful platform. So let's now focus on measures to address youthful violence. How can we stop it? If not being stopped, how can we minimize it? And what do you think governments, institutions, non-governmental organizations, non-state actors can also engage in helping to address this situation? Beginning with you, Raymond.
All right. Thank you for giving me the floor. I think that the government should do something for the youth by helping them to get job, because it's very, very important. Secondly, the youth should be aware of something, because we are here in Africa, specifically in Senegal. We know that it's not possible for the government to give each and one of us a job. It's not possible. Even though he wanted to do it, it's not going to be able to make it happen. So in that case, what we should do as young people, we have to make sure to create our own job by doing some businesses. Yeah, of course, they are going to tell me that, no, we need to do it, but we don't have money. Even though they have 1,000, say, FA, they can make something. Even though they are going to buy candies or sweets, they can make some, small business. Because step by step, they can build one day or another. Okay. A big store or something like that. It depends. And certainly, the non-government, organization, they should help the youth by trying to bring something and, hire them in the, enterprises and work with them. It's going to be helpful because by making sure each and one young, person to get a job, it's going to help them to be occupied. Because if they are not occupied and they need money, maybe some of them, they are going to say, okay, as I do not have a job and I do not know exactly how can I do in order to get a job because I am not well informed, I am going to rob in order to get the money. So the fact that having a job or a business, or for example, even if they don't get money, the government can even help every single young person for example, by giving him maybe 1 million or, for example, 300,000. It depends. By doing that, the young guy can start something, like a little business in his corner or his quarter. It depends. And step by step, he's going to be able.
Do you see a potential threat coming if these young people are not given jobs, these young people are not empowered to some extent so that they will be independent? Do you see chaos coming in the future?
Come again, please.
If the government does not provide adequate jobs for the young people, if the government or non-state actors do not empower these young people to be independent and establish their personal businesses that you speak about, do you see a potential threat? Do you see them engaging into violence that will really derail the peace and stability of the country, or maybe various countries in the region in the coming years too?
Oh, well, of course. Things are going to be bad and worse. Worse and worse, of course. I'm telling you. Because if they do not get a good job, if they do not get money in order to overcome their needs or the need of their parents, because I have to underline something which is very, very important here. And I'm going to talk with parents, because some of them, they used to say, okay, you, my son, you are useless. You are good at nothing. You are this and that. By doing the, verbal abuse, by doing that, the guy can feel a bit frustrated. And by doing that, he can even go and strive specifically on that point that they call the violence. And if they do not do something, the non-government organization, right, or the government himself do not do something in order to help people, I am sure that things are going to be so terrible.
Okay. Let's hear from you, Marinan. What do you think governments or NGOs need to do in terms of empowering young people to avoid them being involved with too much acts of violence? I guess you
one of the things. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the things we should first start with should be in the homes, because there's a saying that goes that the family is the reflection of the society. So if the family is broken or is bad, the society will be bad and broken. Because in everything, all of us, we are coming from a house, from a home. We all came from a family. If you see I am behaving the way I do, it's because of the training I got from home. And yes, there's also, sometimes the parents do all the right things, and yet still the person will turn out bad because maybe they'll have peer influence, or just for themselves determined to live a careless life. Maybe they are not. It still stems from the family. So if we can strengthen the family system, and also parenting skills, because just because you are a father or you have a child doesn't mean that you are a parent or you can parent a child. Now I can have a child, you get, but am I present in the life of the child? Am I what, like my brother said, I love when he said, like, the words that we use, the verbal abuse. People don't know that usually the words that we say have more harm. It does more harm than good, especially if we're using it on the negative. So is this person, that is acting, that is a menace now in the society? Is this person at home being treated like trash, like he's nobody? Is this person at home trying to think, are these people even my parents? Some people, they live with their own biological parent. It's not like foster parent, but they still wonder, are these people my parent? You get, some, their parents are absent in their lives. Some, they don't live with them. Some, they don't even know, who their parents. So if they don't have if the foundation of a person is not stable, then the whole building will shake. So because if the foundation of our youth is not stable, this reaction that we are seeing is due to some root causes. And unless and until those root causes are tackled, then we can have a healthy society. So strengthening family system, also promote mental health awareness and counseling for young people.
Okay.
I know we take these things for granted.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
Should I continue?
Yeah, you can just complete in few seconds.
Okay, complete it. Okay. And then also, in as much as we can have, strict laws, enforce strict laws against youth violence, but we can also promote rehabilitation. We do not have that enough, and also empowering youth through education, skill training, and also provide employment.
Thank you so much, Marina. And we hope to have you on the platform another time for an interesting conversation. Thank you so kindly.
Thank you.
All right, let's finally hear from you, Gallo. What are your recommendations, I would say, to ending youthful violence?
Well, I think the first thing that we should do is inform the parents that their children should be in the school. Because most of the time who are doing violence in our society right now is those that the most of them, they are not schooled. They drop out of school maybe 10 or 25 years ago. They do. That's why many of them, they don't think the effect doing violence, what it will bring in the future. That's why I can say also the government should take care of them, should value the youth, should give them employment. Even all the young people can get even if all the young people can get a job, but the half of the year should get a job. That's what I recommend for the government. And for we the youth, we should be informed every day. We should learn. We should learn. I can say some breaking news. Some we should be in the actuality. We should always listen to the radio, watch TV, and see what is happening around the world.
Okay.
Because everybody, I can say, when you see action, when you see a bad action, and you think about yourself, you will feel afraid. And when you feel afraid, you are not going to do this thing another day. That's what I recommend for us as we are young.
Thank you, Gallo. I hope to have you here another time, and thank you so much for coming today. Thank you as well, Raymond, for coming today.
Sure thing.
All right. Well, listeners and viewers, this is where we conclude the 25th episode of Take the Lead here on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal. Remember to always take the lead in shaping the discourse for the betterment of young people in Africa. My name is Augustine Cully. Stay blessed.
Take the Lead is back in 2025 with a brand new format. Yes,